Welcome to the Art of Hitting channel. Today we have a look behind the scenes at the awards dinner for the class of 2024 Legends Hall of Fame, emceed by none other than the Italian stallion from New Jersey, Tony Vedola. So this is Paul Stanley's night. So enjoy. And don't forget to hit subscribe.
Brace yourself. Please join me as I introduce our next speaker, who's a true legend in the world of senior softball. This man wears many hats. He is recognized as an author, publisher, lecturer, magician, and more recently he has a podcast on Spotify called The Dugout. Mr. Ed Rose.
Or my glasses these days. Well, look, there's a lot of thanking going on tonight, but one guy didn't get thanked, and he's done a lot of work, and that's Tony Vedola. Tony, last year he started to help us, and he added a whole new dimension to the organizational presentation of the Hall of Fame, and he does it with such energy. And give Tony a big hand. So we have two gentlemen being inducted this year that couldn't be here. Two of my good friends, Paul Stanley and a gentleman some of you may not know in here. And let me just test that out for a minute. Who knows Murray Williams? A couple of people, because Murray used to play in Florida with me years ago. In fact, I recruited him from Orlando. He was a nuclear physicist, and he played really well, and I played against him one time, and back in the day, I recruited a lot of guys. And I recruited him to work for me, and it wasn't hard with his background. Graduated the military academy, nicest guy in the world. He moved away right after we won a 40 over world tournament, and I said, oh. But he went out to Texas and he just killed it out there, and he's killing it right now. For example, I'm going to get a lot into it. I guess we're going to play the video, but I think it's just the acceptance. So there is a video on online about Murray. If you want, on our channel, my channel, I'd go out and look at it rather than me tell you all about him, but he is a great player. He's on a 55 team, a 50 team, a 60 team, a 70s team. I think that's what it is, right? Yeah. Now, Paul Stanley, now he played with Roger a long time. And I met Paul through Jack Aronson, a good friend of mine that's passed, and he was what I call the four horsemen at FSSA. Yeah, I get a little credit for the organization, but just to get in, I really started it as a benefit to me and softball. And we don't know how we got there, but we did the charity part of it, and we're mainly charity now. And of course, Legends Hall of Fame and the Dugout, but softball's the baseline. But all that was possible from softball. I mean, we built too well. I would have never, ever, as growing up as a poor kid in New Jersey, I couldn't even pay attention. I was so poor. But here we are building a well for people in the Dominican. We helped, I don't know, it's 3,000 or 4,000 people up in the mountains that hadn't had water for 50 years. They couldn't get the government to do it, and we did it. And that's what the FSA is all about. And I met Paul and Wally and Doug Kett, that I call like I call them the Three Stooges, or not really the Three Stooges, but they're like the Three Musketeers. And they had a lot of fun together, and they're some of the greatest players I ever played with. And Paul Stanley, 6 foot, was he 6'5"? 7, yeah. he was out in the outfield, and I didn't know him when we were down there in the DR. I said, "Well, they got that big guy out there, man. Don't we have a smaller guy who can, move around out there?" And so after one game, I knew what I am out there. That boy can play. So the videos, we got two of them. So let's do Paul first. Can we run the video on Paul? Well, let me give you a little background. Paul's not here because he's over playing in Australia because they had a all-star comeback week or something. And I said, "You mean you want to go there rather than come and have dinner with me and Roger?" Roger really, but I said, he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you never asked me to go." And he said, "Yeah, I did, but I can't do that." But so what we did was I traveled to Vegas. I brought him his plaque, and then I taped him in a very exclusive place in the hotel. I think it was on the 5th floor in the hallway. Roll the tape.
To the class of 2024, Paul Stanley being inducted into the Florida Senior Sports Legends Hall of Fame. A very nice moment for me since I've got to know Paul, a very special guy, as you've seen in his other tape on his nomination. So let's listen to Paul. I flew out to Vegas to meet with him, and we did it in a special room.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right in the hallway of the hotel.
This is Paul Stanley, and the reason we're doing this is that we're having the Legends Hall of Fame awards dinner, induction dinner, I guess I should say, in Fort Myers. What date was that? The 8th, right, or something like that?
Yeah, November, yeah.
In November 8th, or whatever the date is. I should say it on here, but it doesn't. But Paul's not going to be here, and I want to let him explain where they're going to be, because this is an important event, but this event he's going to is like once in a lifetime. Go tell him.
Yeah, we're heading to Australia October 30th to the 16th of November, playing in a basketball Masters games there with a bunch of the old teammates of mine from the Pro League back in the late 80s that a lot of these guys haven't seen for 35 years or so. So we're going to be playing in the Pan Pacific Games in Queensland, and several of my closest friends are going, and Murray and Doug, and they're going to make it a bucket list trip.
Didn't invite me.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
But we will be away during the Hall of Fame banquet awards, so we had Ed fly out here especially for this presentation.
I did. Well, listen, those of you who don't know it, Paul was a professional basketball player in Australia, and they tell me he was the Michael Jordan of the Australian. Is that a stretch too far?
I think so.
I like it anyhow. Well, listen.
Especially in the bank account area.
Yeah, I get that. Or we be playing Paul Stanley softball.
That's right.
Yeah. So what I want to do here is to present his plaque, and at the dinner we will tell you all about what Paul did to earn it. He's one of the best softball players in the country, obviously, and as a senior player, he just added his world. One of the best, 6'6" outfit. How tall are you?
About 6'4.5".
6'4". He's like 6'6" to me, but the first time I ever saw him play, I said, "What the hell is that big guy doing out in the outfield?" And he's going to be able to cover that ground. Well, he taught me in about one game that he could cover anything out there. Yeah, him and Doug Kett and Bob Waldyke, I call them the big three. But listen, enough of that. The people have already listened to how great you are as a softball player, and I want to present this to you. And
thank you very much.
Real proud of you, man. I'm glad I met you in my career late in life, but
thank you, Ed. I'm obviously I'm honored and humbled anytime something like this comes around, it's a little humbling and a little embarrassing, actually, a lot of the time when we're talking about playing a kid's game. And it's been a wonderful part of my life, able to meet just so many wonderful people and lifetime friends. And that's the most important part. I mean, obviously you want to win. Every time you win a ring, you make a memory with other guys, but the friendships and the camaraderie is what's one of the greatest things in softball. And so I'm very proud, humbled, and honored, and thank you very much for this award. Appreciate it very much, Ed.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Thank you.
Welcome, Paul Stanley. Well, welcome to the Legends Hall of Fame, Paul, but it was kind of obvious from the dinner the other day and our conversation, and no one knows exactly how tall Paul Stanley is. I'm not even sure Paul knew how tall he was. But man, you're a great guy. Welcome. And to my audience, come on now, we need to get up to 2,000. Help me out. Get your friends. Go out and get one of them guys on the street and have him. He's probably got a phone.